So, funny story. I know you're all expecting Mr. Dimes, and to be honest, me too. But I ain't got the foggiest idea of where he is, and I'm starting to get worried about him. I just hope he's all right, especially after that weird, scary siren and all. But the show must go on, and maybe if he hears me over the radio, he'll be so excited he'll hurry back real soon. So, here goes nothing. Live from the Wasteland Times, I'm...
Sweet, sassy son of a signal-loving bitch!
Mr. Dimes? Wow, I can't believe that worked. Hey, boss, what are you doing?
We've got to batten down the hatches, sandbag the lobby, trench lines in the latrines, maxims on the mezzanine, and do we have the budget for an airship?
Boss, we barely got a budget for lunch.
Rats. Well, we'll just have to make do.
For what, boss?
Chaos, murder, madness, politics! You didn't hear anything for the past 2 months?
Nah, it's been pretty quiet around here. I heard some creepy horn or something. Maybe a few more gunshots than usual. But other than that, been kicking back and waiting for you to come back.
Well, Cully, you a lucky duck. I've been agitating gravel for weeks and planting my nose where the daffodils grow. But one thing at a time, frazzled and shaken is never an excuse for a poor intro. Wasteland, this is Bobby Dimes with Wasteland Times, and you're listening to the Wasteland Times frequency. That's WTF for short. Tonight's announcements come in the wake of the most head-spinning series of events I've had the pleasure to trot and tumble through in a long time. Top of the list is no longer breaking news. Honest Fall has fallen over the fold. Don't go scratching your head just yet. Your calendar is not faulty. A surprise horn was sounded months ahead of the usual date of the legal carnage holiday. Townsfolk and minor family heads were caught in shock and awe as crazed family members of all strains and walks flooded the streets hacking and slashing, not wanting to waste the gift of a good stabbing spree. The death toll was high that night, due to lack of communication. But after the initial panic, Requiem seemed to shake off the punches and button up the Great Hall, pushing back the homicidal horde. But the impromptu purge was no random ruse. The siren was sounded shortly after the High Lord Executioner Anton Anastasio was pronounced dead.
No!
Yes, that's right, your radio's not on the fritz. Anton Anastasia is dead. Supposedly his family sensed the impending mugging and pulled the trigger to allow the town to blow off some steam. Anton seemed to be the only one who knew how to keep these families in check, and now with him gone, Signal knows what they're capable of. But luckily his family did the Requiem version of a reset button. Tensions have been brewing, and this bout of weakness in the Anastasians could have meant something far worse had their impulse for blood not been reset by a little honors fall treat. This was evident by some high-ranking family members showing their disapproval in their leaders, such as Ezra Moen, who was witness airing various levels of disgust during their family's sacred ritual. The presence of grave robbers participating in the event seemed to set them off their rocker. These accusations would later be confirmed when they skulked through town looking for grave robbers. Ezra and his fanatic followers seemed to have gotten close to their goal, cornering the unborn Professor Reaper Solius in their bed, and nearly making that unborn wish they were never born. Luckily, Professor Solius managed to escape near certain death and alerted townfolk of the peculiar purple problem. You'd think gruesome gravemind mummers and flabbergasting honors falls would be bad enough, but it wouldn't be the waste without some undead dewdroppers joining the party. A few new Zeds spotted around the fold have wreckers squirming in their skin. A tangled, stringy mess of limbs and ligaments snatching up townsfolks proved to be difficult to tango with, especially with that big tendril. This mess of anatomy has been labeled the Unraveled due to its appearance of falling apart like a ball of yarn. And a hulking mass of flesh and blade formed a new fear of pincushions. The flayed Zed is most notably characterized by the ludicrous amounts of blades sticking out of its flesh. Be careful, these things must have been baywalkers in a past life, since they used their own skin like pockets to store more weapons to use against woozy wastelanders. Requiem scientists have announced that removing the blades from the beast's back proved to be effective, since every new blade felt sharper and sharper. At least that's what those who had the misfortune of fighting it had to say.
Oh, jeez, boss, please, no more. I think I'm gonna be sick.
I can't blame you, Miss Ditz.
Give me your tongue!
What?
Huh.
Are we gonna talk about that?
Which brings me to my next story. Tunnels! Yes, tunnels, tunnels, and more tunnels, stretching this, that, and every which way beneath Requiem. The discovery of hatches in nearly every structure in Requiem have been uncovered. And beneath them lie a vast network of smuggling tunnels long since forgotten, until now. And the newest, latest craze sweeping the waste has emerged from these tantalizing tubes. Spelunking, as the kids are calling it, involves diving headfirst into the tunnels and braving the gauntlet below in hopes of tasty, tantalizing tunnel treats. But no prize worth pursuing is ever without consequences. And those who don't strike gold get struck instead. Everything from raiders to Zeds of traps of all flavors dwell down in the dark. Some are calling this the pinnacle of fuck around and find out, while some simply spout spelunk this dick before cannonballing into a hole. But with all this racket down under, these old ways seem to be going the way of the wet noodle, and structures have been compromised. So, go easy on the spelunking, Requiem. If not for your safety, then the safety of the topside.
Okay. So, craziness, weird Zed and tunnels. But how the hell did the High Lord Executioner die? Again!
Oh, right. Anton's most recent demise was caused by one Jimmy Jones, a local priest of seemingly all faiths, who somehow controlled numerous faithful abrids and willed them to do his bidding, taking Anton by surprise and killing the High Lord Executioner without getting his collar dirty. You'd think after pulling such an egregious act, Jones would lay low for a while, but no! To everyone's surprise, Jimmy Boy was out and about, talking to townsfolk and seeming quite confident. That was until a wicked whistle was blown. Surrounded and outnumbered, a group of townsfolk were jonesing to jostle Jones and successfully snuffed out that high-collared crook. What followed is where my stories get dodgy, since not too long after the sky began to fall. That is to say, Jones and his family had confiscated Fellow Hope artillery and had spent the rest of the night shelling the town every hour on the hour. Creeping barrages swept through the streets of Requiem, and no buildings or streets were safe. So once again, Requiem took to the safety of the woods and stayed out of sight of those crooked cannon's frightful might. So our total obituary for the evening reads, several family heads, one High Lord Executioner, and a Sour Jones. This reporter is starting to get nervous and curious as to where such dangerous ne'er-do-wells go after devious dirt naps. So you heard it here, folks. Anton missing, Jones thugged, families in fractals, and the dangers of spelunking. I think that's the long short of it all. Now grab your things, Miss Ditz. We're making tracks.
What? But you just got back. Where are we going?
Leeds! That rabble-rousing railroad struck gold. Well, not gold, but maybe gold. They don't know what they found. That's the point. And that's as good as gold to me.
No, jeez, I got sand in my shoes just thinking about it. No offense, boss. There's no way in ever-loving old York that I'm picking up a shovel and digging.
I wouldn't dream of it, but it looks like the call went out all over the East Coast, and swarms upon swarms of wastelanders are coming to get a piece of this sandy candy. Rumor says it's old world artifacts. Others say treasure beyond your wildest dreams. Either way, it's a win-win for me. Think about all the strangers we get to meet, and the trainloads of info dumped with every scoop of shrouding sand. And besides, that honors false siren is giving me the heebie-jeebies, so I'm not too jazzed to hang around here at the current moment. So what do you say, Miss Ditz? I think we've earned a bit of a working vacation, don't you?
All right, well, I can't be grumpy when you're all excited like that. Besides, someone's got to watch your back. Signal knows there's going to be plenty of goons looking to mump you, boss, just to say they did.
That's the spirit. So what are you waiting for? Let's make like a couple of fine eggs and beat it. Wasteland, this has been Bobby Dimes.
And Donna Ditz.
With the Wasteland Times, and you'll listen to the Wasteland Times frequency. That's WTF for short. Goodbye for now, and watch out for those holes. We'll be seeing you all real soon.
Well, I don't know, but I've been told uranium ore's worth more than gold. So, McCad, I bought me a Jeep. I got that bug, and I can't sleep. Uranium fever has done and got me down. Uranium fever is spreading all around. With a Geiger counter in my hand,
I'm going out to stake me some government land.
uranium fever has done and got me down. Well, I had a talk with the AEC, and they brought out some maps that looked good to me. And one showed me a spot he said he knowed, so I straddled my Jeep and headed down the road. I reckon I drove about 100 miles down a bumpy road out through the wilds, when all of a sudden I bounced to a stop at the foot of a mountain, didn't have no top. Uranium fever has done and got me down. Uranium fever is spreading all around. With a Geiger counter in my hand,
I'm going out to stake me some government land.
uranium fever has done and got me down. Well, I took my Geiger and I started to climb right up to the top, where I thought I'd find a hunk of rock that'd make it click just like I'd read about Vernon Pick. On the second day I made the top, and I'm telling you, Steve, I was ready to stop. The only clicking that I heard that day was the bones in my back that had gone astray. Uranium fever has done and got me down. Uranium fever, it's spreading all around. With a Geiger counter in my hand,
I'm going out to stake me some government land.
uranium fever has done and got me down. Well, you pack up your things, you head out again into some unknown spot where nobody's been. You reach the spot where your fortune lies. You find it's been staked by 17 other guys. Well, I ain't kidding, I ain't gonna quit. That bug's done caught me and I've been bit. So with a Geiger counter and a pick in my hand, I'll keep right on staking that government land. Uranium fever has done and got me down. Uranium fever is spreading all around. With a Geiger counter in my hand,
I'm going out to stake me some government land.
uranium fever has done and got me down.